Hello, once again. I'm Pastor Jeremy Combs, and we're going to pause for a proverb. Let's go. Proverbs chapter 11 and verse 25. The liberal soul shall be made fat, and he that watereth shall be watered also himself. Well, we're in the midst of a set of verses where God is addressing our benevolence or our giving. In verse 24, our giving itself is addressed. In verse 25, our generosity will be challenged too. Christians are not just to be givers only, but they're to be generous givers. First, we see a person described as having a liberal soul. Now, liberal is not describing their political bent. It's the idea of the way that they give. He doesn't hold back. He is generous. Notice this begins in the soul. It's the liberal soul. And what we are inwardly is often revealed by what happens to us outwardly. And so we see this process as he is generous with others, God is generous with him. To be fat is not a blessing in our day and age, but in Solomon's day, it showed prosperity. You know, God wants to satisfy and prosper your life. And finally, there's this promise that we will get if we give. It's an old Southern preacher once said, God shovels back to you as you shovel from your grain to him. The difference is, he would comment, is that God always has a bigger shovel. The promise here is you can't outgive God. Verse 26, he that withholdeth corn, the people shall curse him, but blessing shall be upon the head of him that selleth it. Verse 26 concludes our triplicate of verses on benevolence. Verse 24, remember, we looked, it was giving. Verse 25, generosity. And now we conclude by looking at graciousness. We must never take advantage of the fact that we may have and others do not. We have not been blessed by God to hoard our possessions and then lord over those who do not. We are blessed to be a blessing. And if not, then our blessing can actually become a curse. Here in our verse, one is coming to buy corn. The seller either refuses to sell or he's putting the price so high the poor person cannot afford to buy it. God is clear that this man shall be cursed. But when the corn is sold at a reasonable price, the buyer is helped and the seller is blessed. God is not against selling corn, but we should not expect someone just to give it to us because we have need. We should work and then pay for our supplies. Both parties are to have godly, gracious spirits. Let's look at one more today, verse number 27. He that diligently seeketh good procureth favor, but he that seeketh mischief, it shall come upon him. There was an old saying, maybe you heard this as you were growing up, the early bird gets the worm. The moral of this pithy statement is that when you diligently seek something, you're going to find it. The diligence involves sacrifice and it involves commitment. Here, the encouragement is to diligently pursue what is good. The word good means what is beautiful, what is best. It would probably be a word that our president would use. He loves to use that beautiful, best kind of a thing. When we pursue what is right, we are pursuing what is best for our life, what is beautiful. Maybe you have pursued something else in life only to find it was not quite so beautiful. It wasn't what was best. In seeking what is right, there needs to be no wondering. You don't have to sit there and think, is this going to be best or is it going to be beautiful? Because you have a promise. The promise is clear. You will receive favor. Okay, you procure favor. Favor is the idea of grace, and it comes both from favor from God and for others. Now, what if you decide to pursue the opposite? Well, pursuing the things of this world, you will end up seeking after mischief. This world means, the word means to be cruel or to be evil, and you will obtain evil. All of the promises of profit or popularity fade, and pretty soon you're only left with what is cruel. So make sure today that you are diligent. Make sure that you find the worm of good favor today.